Well, I finally made it back from Greece after yet another amazing summer. Once again, I was going for 6 weeks, but I ended up staying for 10. But I was smarter this year. I only booked a one-way ticket because I know what I'm like. So at least I didn't like lose a million tickets and $1 million in the process. But to be fair, I was going for 6 weeks because I was coming back to train for a fight on September 20. But the whole show actually ended up getting canned for now, postponed, whatever. And so all of a sudden I didn't have a fight date to rush back for, and I still had a little bit of work that I could have done over in Greece. So I was like, fuck it, may as well stay. So I was going to stay for another 2 weeks before coming back, but then right at the end there, I got hit by a motorbike, which you probably saw on my Instagram. And then I thought, why rush back to Miami? I can't train at this point anyway. I'm like a freaking invalid. And the healthcare I was getting in Greece was from an incredible doctor who was a regular at the club that I was working at. So it was someone I knew and trusted and very good at what he does. And I could walk into the hospital at any time to get immediate attention for free, which was never going to happen in America. So I thought, you know, may as well wait here until my leg's better, which I did. So it was about 10 weeks by the time I ended up leaving. But anyway, finally made it back. Today's Wednesday. I came back on Friday. And funny story, so when I came back into the country, I have to go through customs, like through the visa line. I can't just do the ESTA line, which is super fast and always takes forever. Anyway, I get to the front of the line and the customs officer is like asking me all these questions, and he's like, okay, come into the back room with me. And I'm like, wait, what? I've never been put into the back room before for anything, and like, pretty sure I've still got like another year left on my visa. Like, it's not, you know, what's the problem? So anyway, I'm out the back and I'm sitting in the waiting room. There's a bunch of other people there, and I'm just chatting to one of the other customs officers who is like a federal police officer, right? He's asking me about my life and what I'm doing in America. He's like, so what do you do? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm a professional boxer. And he's like, wait, what? And anyway, so then he was like, yeah, give me a punch. And I was like, are you for real? Like, you're a federal police officer in a waiting room full of people asking me to punch you. Like, are you looking for an excuse to kick me out of the country or what? We were laughing so hard. But anyway, all the other customs officers, like federal police officers, are like, yeah, give it to him. Come on, like cheering me on. I was like, what the hell? Like, is this for real? So anyway, I couldn't do it. I just gave him like a light punch with good technique to the belly. Anyway, when I hit him, he's like, yeah, did you feel that? I was like, what the fuck? This is insane. Anyway, it was very funny. So I finally get put into the like question room or whatever, and it turned out that my boxing management company, they had booked my flight to Europe, and they had used a travel agency that had also booked a flight for some terrorist. So now hundreds and thousands of people are all getting checked if they've been booked through this travel agency. So it was just a matter of formality and a very annoying thing, I guess, for the poor customs officers having to check a load of people for absolutely nothing. And anyway, finally made it through, made a bunch of friends, got a good laugh. And I get home, and the next morning I'm making some coffee and I'm like, oh, I've got a new kettle. This one's nice. What the hell? So I'm like, Joey's one of my best friends who was minding my place for me while I was away. And I'm like, oh, Joey, I got a new kettle. Like, what's the go? He's like, oh, you didn't hear the story? I'm like, what? So while I was away, I allowed some of my other model girlfriends who don't live in Miami to stay at my place during swim week while they were here working. And apparently one of the girls didn't realize my kettle was an electric kettle, has never seen an electric kettle in her life, and she attempted to put the electric kettle on the stove and lit it. So electric kettles are generally made of plastic, well mine is anyway. And so she's lit this kettle on fire and the plastic has melted like all over my stove. Apparently there's like plastic burning smoke going, like filling the house. Like apparently there was like I was lucky not to have my house burnt down. So anyway, quite a drama. Love you girls. Thanks for the new kettle. Appreciate that you got me a new one. And anyway, whatever. At least I still have a house. So that was quite funny. And then straight back into training. I took Friday off because I was quite jet lagged and just like organizing my life. But Saturday I was back into it. And you know what? I had such low expectations for myself and my fitness, because coming back from Greece last year, I was like in no kind of shape whatsoever. But that's because in Mykonos I was like drinking and partying for 2 months. So when I trained on Saturday, I fucking killed it. And I was like, go me. So I pushed really hard. Then I did another session on Sunday, running stairs outdoors, so like in the humidity. And then Monday, I did a technical session at the gym. I was probably training for like 2.5 hours, but none of it was like super hard, but you know, still sweating a lot for 3 hours. That night I went for a run for 45 minutes, so another hour of sweating, if you count after. And then I had a magnesium bath. So I guess like all in all, I was sweating for 4.5 hours on Monday, like profusely. Like you guys have seen how much I sweat. And then Tuesday, I got to the gym. I warmed up, I sparred 4 rounds, which surprised myself, like completely blew myself away at how much I have not lost. So I was really happy with how I went. But then I took like 10 minutes break and I started hitting the heavy bag and I just like blacked out. Like not passed out, but just like my vision was gone. And I was like, what the fuck? So I had to stop training and I was like, what is wrong with me? And I realized that I guess so many days in a row have just caught up with me. I'm sweating so much here because I'm not used to the humidity, and I guess I just haven't adjusted my diet to add in more salt to retain a bit more water. I'm drinking so much water, but it's just going straight through me, like I'm not retaining it. So anyway, that was a bit of a hard lesson. I've basically spent the last 24 hours a bit of a vegetable, not really feeling very well, or you know, just like exhausted, like extreme tiredness from extreme dehydration. Anyway, learnt my lesson, and the first week or 2 back in Miami after being away is always a little bit of an experimental process for me, but getting there, and I'm only 5 days in, so still got another 5 weeks till my fight. Plenty of time, so just got to listen to the body and keep grinding.